Hi, I'm Rusty Dog and welcome to this video where I'm going to be trying to fix my brake pedal. So I did a 6-hour stream. These pedals need a clean up as well. I did a 6-hour stream a few days ago with Accelerator Corsa Competizione, and I was having trouble with my brake pedal because I was pressing it down at least halfway before I got any readings. And then I had a small window of, no brakes to full brakes. And, it's supposed to be the entire travel. So I really wasn't getting the best out of my performance. So what I've done is I did a little bit of looking around on the internet. And also I went to eBay and I found that somebody was selling a damper kit for the brake pedal for the Fanatec Club Sport version 1 and version 2 pedals. Now this is the version 1. So I emailed him and said, look, this is the problem I'm getting with my brake pedal. Would this kit fix the problem? And he said, take it apart, take the damper out, and if the damper looks in a bad condition, then this will almost certainly solve your issue. So I thought, well, okay then. So I've done that, and my damper is... So let me just explain how all this works. If I show you the other way, we have an adjuster here for the amount of sensitivity on the brake pedal as well. So it's quite a complex set of pedals. So here we have a potentiometer on the accelerator pedal, and we have one on the clutch pedal. These are both the same. Now my accelerator pedal has been giving me a little bit of jip as well, so I'm going to clean this potentiometer on the inside. I'm going to have to take that off. If that doesn't fix it, I'm just going to take the one off the clutch and swap them round, because I was getting the issue where I would press the throttle and I would get full throttle, and then after a few laps I'd press it and it would be 100, 90, 100, 90, 190, 190, be flicking, and then it would stay at 90. Sometimes I even had it worse, and the result of that was that I was, not getting full throttle. So kind of need these two pedals for raising the clutch. I don't use so much, I don't use it that much really. Now, as you can see, this is adjustable, got two nuts on the back as well, so you can adjust this, and there's holes so you can adjust where this goes, but I've not had a need for that, and I don't know if they really, I think it depends what you've got in here. But anyway, enough jibber jabber. Now there's no potentiometer on the brake pedal because it has something called a load cell, which is this, and this slots in, well, it needs to be screwed down, but this slots in there. Okay, and this consists of this metal bracket with a sensor in there. So when you're pressing on the brakes, you're actually bending this metal, and this, along with the piston in here and the spring, makes this pedal feel like a proper pedal like you would have in a normal car. So you really have to press hard to get maximum braking. So it also has the ABS feel, so when your wheels lock up in a real car, your brake pedal will kind of vibrate to let you know that, because that's the essentially the brake discs. Sorry, the brake. I knew I had to say that wrong. That's the brake pads coming on and off your disc, so to stop the locking. So the same with this, when the wheels are locking up, the pedal vibrates as well. So all this is on these pedals. I've had these years, and yes, I will clean up all the metal. It's really a long time. So the piston goes in here. Now I took mine apart, and that is the actual rod itself that goes into the bottom and makes contact with the load cell and pushes down. And then we have the damper, which is, I suppose you could call it foam, but it's really, really hard. It's really hard. Squeezing it at the sides, there's a little bit of give, but as you can see, I have some damage, just a little. Now when I took this out, it was like coffee grains coming out. It was all bits of brown everywhere and bits of brown flaky stuff, and I thought, yeah, my damper. So I'm thinking now, can that little bit that's come off the top, because it's supposed to look like that, can that little bit that's come off the top really result in half a brake pedal's distance travel before any? And I suppose it can. Just that little bit can result, because of the way the leverage system works. I think, you know, you'd have to bring the pedal down a lot, because you're compressing the spring initially. You're compressing the spring, and then the rest of the travel is all down to this. So maybe just losing a little bit off the top really makes a big difference. Maybe. We'll have to see. Now, the reason I say maybe is because in the new kit, which arrived today, I wasn't expecting it until Monday, we have 2 reds and 2 black dampers. Now, I'm going to explain the differences to you in a little while. So I've taken a black and a red out, and I've left a black and a red in the bag. And I'm going to try this setting out. Now, the rod you get is smaller. Now, if you imagine the original, which as you can see is a little bit longer. So if you imagine the original, let's call that 2/3. And then we have this, and that makes up the whole 3/3, essentially. Right. Whereas this one is more like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So now we have that, and then we have a black one, and then we're going to put the red one on the top. And that makes up the new one. Let me see if I can do this without dropping it. However, if I take that and put it there, there is quite a height difference. Let me just get those level. As you can see, the new one is still bigger. Now, that leads me to question, have I just lost this top bit, or have I lost even more up the top here? Because if I've lost that big chunk at the top, are these supposed to be the same height? I don't know. Or is this naturally longer and it doesn't actually matter? I don't know. But if this was originally the same height, then losing that chunk would certainly account for the brake pedal being the way it was, for 100%. Alright, so that's that, and I've got a little bag of grease, but I've got my own stuff as well, which I'm going to be using initially, because to get this piston out of the box at the back, I had to push from behind, remove the load cell, push an Allen key in to get it moving upwards, and then I used a very strong neodymium magnet to pull, literally just attach onto it and pull it out. So I got it out. Now, as you can imagine, inside this tube it was all bits of this stuff. So I put a dry wet wipe. So it's a wet wipe that I left out for a while. I put a dry wet wipe in here and pulled it through. Now it's kind of clean, but it's not perfect. So we're going to be cleaning that up. Also, the load cell, the glue here has come away. And this is really hard glue, so I don't really want to be tugging at it and trying to snap it or anything. So what I'm going to do is use the glue gun and just glue over the top of the glue and just nail that down. There's no problem with it at the moment, but I don't want it to become one. So I'm going to be doing that. Also, the accelerator, or the throttle, has a potentiometer on the side, and so does the clutch pedal. Now these are identical. Now I was getting issues with the accelerator in that I was getting 100% power when I had the throttle down, but then after a few laps I would press the throttle down and I could see that I wasn't getting full power. It was you know, between full and 90% and full, and it was doing this, and so something's wrong there. And then after a bit more time it would just stay at 90%, so I wasn't getting full power. So I'm going to take this off and give it a bit of a clean. If that doesn't fix the issue, then I will just take this off and swap it with the clutch one, which is perfectly working, because the clutch doesn't get used that much. And if I press the clutch down, if I press the clutch down, that is harder than the pedal. This is the easiest one to press. That's the next hardest, and the brake pedal is normally the hardest, but it has lately been the easiest one by a mile. So if I press the clutch down, if it only goes to 90%, it doesn't matter, because in most games it's still going to engage the gear clean. There are some games where if you don't put enough clutch in, I can't remember which game it was, it crunches the gears. Is it GT Legends? Yeah. If you've got a full manual setup, you've got to make sure you get a good clutch in. But otherwise, just a little bit of input, as long as it registers a clutch input, it'll be fine. So maybe just changing the potentiometers over will be the easiest thing. But again, this is just a sensor that sits there and floats there, and it detects the movement with some kind of light or sensor, I don't know. So I'm sure I'm hoping by the end of today we will have these pedals fully working again. Now here you can see that the accelerator pedal is adjustable, so I think the more this goes up, the more relaxed the pedal is, and the more you wind that down. I'm not sure. I think that might just affect how much travel you have. Yeah, if I bring this spring up, I'll have more travel. Now a Formula 1 car, for example, like in your normal car, your throttle pedal, you're going to have like that much travel in it, you know. But an F1 car has got like that. That's nothing, and that's full power in an F1 car. There's very little travel in a Formula 1 car. So you think how much, all that, like 1,000 horsepower inside that, and then think how deft you have to be on that throttle pedal to control that car. I tell you, these Formula 1 drivers, man, they're on a completely different level. Anyway, so that's basically my pedal setup. The only other thing is that this brake pedal has ABS, like in a normal car. When you brake, you'll feel, if the ABS kicks in, you'll feel a vibration on your pedal, which is pretty much because your brake pads are coming off the disc and back on again, and they're doing that like this to prevent the wheels locking up. They're doing it, the computer's doing it very quickly, quicker than a human could. And this, if you lock up, if you're driving a car with ABS and you lock up, or about to lock up, and the car's ABS kicks in, then this pedal will vibrate as well. You can feel it. Bzz, you can feel it vibrating. So it does have ABS sensation on there. Right. So first thing we need to do, I think, is clean out this bore in here, because as you can appreciate, when I took out this thing, all these bits came out, and inside of here was kind of caked with it. I did use a wet wipe, but a dry one. I've got some wet wipes here, but I put a dry one through because with a tissue it's going to tear quite easily, and I put a wet wipe through with an Allen key and just pushed it through and gave it a bit of a clean out. Now I don't think it's 100% clean, but I think it's okay. But I am going to give it another clean. Now I've got 3 products here which I like to use. I don't know if I'll use all 3 of them, but I have Water Displacement 40 Anti-Friction Dry Ptfe Lubricant. Okay, and it does state at the bottom for use on metals, plastic and glass. I don't want to put too much in. I don't want it to have any reaction with these. I don't know if I don't think it will, but now this one is fast drying contact cleaner, which I'll use on the potentiometers as well. This one you can use on plastic and rubber. And then we've got this one, white grease, white lithium grease, which is very good. So notice I don't have the blue and red DW40. So, which one to use? The contact cleaner, I don't know if that's going to do very much, but the grease and the lubricant, I'll maybe put a little bit down in each one. So, to do that, I'm going to have to stuff a tissue through first. I'm going to put a tissue through where the load cell goes in to catch all the droplets. I don't really need to catch all the droplets, but it's just to save it going on the desk. All right, so I'm going to squirt a bit of I don't know, I think I would probably squirt the contact cleaner in first. Actually, I think I will use some of that. And I'm not even sure whether mixing these is a good idea, but I'm going to anyway. I don't know. I'm doing it this way because this is the way I want to do it, and it might not be the best way, but it's my way. Alright, so we'll just let that soak in there for a couple of seconds. It stinks, man, stinks. I'm going to get a wet wipe. Got my War of the Worlds light here as well, in case I need it. LED, pretty cool. So I need something to push this through. I used an Allen key last time, but I've got a pen here. So this is just a wet wipe going through there. There we go. Now I could just either twist it in here or try and get it out through the other side, which I think is probably a good idea. Just give it a good... It just needs to be clean in there so that when the new stuff goes in, you know, it's nice and easy. But we'll be putting grease in there as well, so oh, I hate this thing. Right. All right. So let's have a look. Okay, I think that looks acceptable. I think I should probably have the brake pedals the other way around, upside down, because this brake pedal is just going to annoy me. I'm trying to catch it out the other side. There we go. Alright, so just making sure that that is clean so that we get a nice smooth travel. I wonder if I can clean this up while I'm at it. Yeah. I have to admit the pedals don't get as much TLC as they should. I suppose they should be serviced and cleaned on a fairly regularish basis, but all the dust in there, man. But I really don't do it as often as I should. Look at all this crap coming out. It's just dust. It's just dust that's just caked onto the plastic. Yeah, anyway. Alright. Let me just move that out of the way. Now then. What I'm going to do now is switch on the heat gun, glue gun. Let's use the proper term, the glue gun. And I'm going to try and just glue this down, just hold that down and glue it. So again, I'll just use the butt end of the pen, I think, just to hold it down. And just put a little blob on that side and a little blob on the other side, and that should hold that. I'll probably just do it with my fingers, to be honest. So you need Allen keys for this, so I'm just going to get mine while that heats up. Okay, so I have my Allen keys here. They're not blurry Allen keys, they're focused ones. Okay, I know they look blurry. Webcam. Right, so I don't know whether this green light goes out when the temperature is there, or whether it stays on the entire time. I don't know. Oh, no, it's glue's coming out now. All right. Ow! God, that is hot. I got too close. Okay, so let's just pop a bit on. Oops. Headphones coming loose when I'm looking down. That's awesome. My only thing with glue guns is that the glue is very stringy. I'll just put a little bridge over the top there. There we go. Okay, turn that off. I don't know whether that's actually made contact and stuck down or not. Oh, this string stuff. It is really stringy. Okay, so we'll just let that sit. And it's, you know, once it's in there, it barely moves anyway. So now the grease, I'm assuming it's to go around here and not necessarily around these. Did I tell you what these were for? Okay, so in case thing is, this is my second attempt at making this video because I didn't have the sound on last time, the mic sound. So anyway, red is soft and black is hard. So basically this gives you 3 settings of feel on your pedals. So you can choose to put in the both reds, and that will give you the softest setting. If you put in the 2 blacks, you'll get the hardest setting, and if you put in a red and a black, you're going to get a medium setting. Now suppose the red's going to go on the top, that'll give you the soft bit first, so that'll squash first, and then the black afterwards. So I'm going to put it in that way. The only reason I'm going for the medium setting is because not only is it the happy medium, but it means that when these wear down, if I'm happy with this setting, when these wear down over the years, spare set straight away. You know, now this set, which consisted of that was £15.95 on eBay. But I'll tell you what, if it fixes this issue, to me, that is a cheap fix. That's a really cheap fix, because I thought maybe I'd have to write to, excuse my webcam, maybe I'd have to write to Fanatec, I'm used to saying Fanatec, but there you go, for a new box with a whole new thing, and I don't know if they make parts for these pedals anymore. I don't know. I don't know what would be the answer. But so if this guy who does this kit on eBay, and I emailed him, and he was very friendly, and he certainly seemed to know what he was talking about when I asked him about the problem. He said, well, if this is worn, and then I sent him a picture of this, and he said that's completely shot. He said that's gone. He said, so yeah, this kit should fix your problem. He seems to really know what he's talking about. So I got good communication from him as well. So. Right, so before we do any of that, I also want to put some white grease on here on the spring. Anything that goes into this tube, I want to just give it a quick spray over. So let me get what's left of this wet wipe. Oh my God. It's a dirty wipe at the moment. And I just want to put some white grease on there. There you go. Don't want to do too much of that because I don't want to be breathing it all in. But you can see, look, the This is what was inside the barrel. Oops, that was easy to come off. Now it's been lubed. Alright, so that's ready to go in. Now then, we're going to have to put the load cell in first. So for that, I need my smallest Allen key, or hex thing, whatever you want to call it, which is this little thing, the tiny one. Now I'm going to feel more comfortable, I think, doing this from the back. Alright, so we have this control box here as well for the one cable goes up to the steering wheel, and that's pretty much it. I use this PS2 slot for that. This one is a USB in case you want to have the pedals and a separate USB slot. You can do that as well. Right, so we're going to put the load cell in. Now I've got to figure out which way this goes, because this is going to wrap into there. So the load cell, and also I've got to remember where the hell that cable went into. Is it this, was it that circuit board here on the potentiometer? Yes, it was. I think I've got a photograph of which way around it went. I'm pretty sure it goes in this way, judging by where the bore is. But then again, we have a slot on this side which looks like it's to help it through, so I think it may actually be this way. But I'm going to have a look at a picture to see which way round it went. I did have the foresight to take a picture. So I'll see if I can show you the what it looked like when it came out. You can see the crap that came out with it when I took it out. Okay, it looks like I didn't take a... Oh yes, I did take a picture with the load cell in. Alright, so which way around is that? So that's with this. Okay, I need to orient this in the same way that I had this, which I think is like this. Is that right? Yep. And that goes there, and the load cell goes in this way. Alright, so it's definitely that way. Now, the exact positioning, well, don't know. So what I'm going to do is just use the Allen key, because there's two tiny little screws. I know you can't see from here, but there's two tiny little screws here. Allen key, Allen hexy Allen screws. Which are going to lock this into place. So what I'm going to do is just tighten it up just a little. There we go. That's enough. And then I'm going to move this to where I think it's supposed to go, which I think is probably there. So I'm going to move the pedals again. I think that's it. This is kind of stuck there now. Yeah, this glue thing hasn't really worked on that side. I might give it another go. Let me just get my... I really should have brought a proper torch, to be honest. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in. I want to see that it touches that, and it does. So it must be that way. Okay. I'm happy with that. Make sure I don't forget to disconnect it. And now I'm going to tighten it up. so that it doesn't fall out. And also this side, I'm going to need to turn it this way so that I can see it. And I'll tell you what, when you consider the difference between that just falling out of this barrel, out of the hole here, and last time having to need a magnet, I mean, that just, look at that. That just falls out, where before I needed a magnet, a strong magnet to pull it out. So you can probably imagine. Now this cable does attach into a connector on this I think this is some kind of control thing, but it's difficult. The cable's got to go in there and be clipped in there, so I'll do that when I've got a better angle on it. Now also, while I'm here, I'm going to see if I can just put a little bit more glue on that thing. Again, you can't see it. I'm going to try and put some more glue on the bottom of the load cell here. As soon as it's ready to squirt, I'm sure it'll let me know. Okay, we have something. Now I don't mind touching this while it's hot if I have to. It is hot, but it's tolerable. All right. Let's not bother it anymore. So the sequence, well, definitely we need this in first. But then it's the sequence of this. I don't think it's going to matter. To be honest, I think I'll probably put the soft one in first. It's not going to matter because you can go too soft or too hard. 2 as in the number 2. 2 of them hard, 2 of them soft. So it doesn't really matter what this is going to be pushing down on. But do I leave the soft one? No, I'm going to put this one in first. Oh, I didn't put the grease in, did I? Alright, let me just quickly grease this up. Now the reason I'm going to use this instead of the spray is because the spray will eventually just like evaporate, where this stuff, not so much. Yeah, it just feels a bit glungy. Okay, so it just has to go on the sides just to ensure a nice smooth travel down the tube. I'm not going to put it on this stuff. I don't know whether you're supposed to, but I'm not going to. So I think black and then red, so that the one side of the red is pushing on another foam and then on the metal, so it's not squashed in between. Yeah, no, it hardly makes a difference really when you think about it. So probably best not to think about it. Right. So the next thing then is we don't need that anymore. That we don't need for now, and that I don't need. So the next thing is I'm just going to wipe what I put on here, and I'm going to replace this bottom bit with some more of this gunge. Now as soon as I've got the pedal screwed in. Oh Jesus, I'll know immediately whether it's fixed it. I won't need to plug it in, I won't need to try it, I'll know. But what there's two things, right? I will know if it's fixed it immediately because I'll be able to see how the pedal travel is. What I won't know is how the pedal feels. I will need to be in game for that. So I'm going to need to actually go into a sim game, Assetto Corsa, and just hit the brake pedal and just see what it's like. Or I could just use the Fanatic configuration properties, whatever. Right, so that's now going to go in here. Oh yeah, that sits perfectly there. All right, so now all we have to do is push that down so it goes past here. Oh, can we now? We used to be able to. It would push down enough. Now then, will it go around the other way perhaps? I wonder. No, it won't go in that way because of that. Oh, we're going to get around this then. You see, you have to push this down and then it goes. Ugh! Ah! Wow! That's in exactly the same place that I cut open yesterday. No, it's not. It's a different one. I cut that open yesterday. And now I've just done that one. So, yeah, somebody call the tetanus shots. That's two metal punctures I've had in 2 days. So somebody call out the tetanus boys. All right. So now I need to put this in. All right, so I'm going to give this a clean. I keep cutting myself, man. Knowing me, I'll get lockjaw in the middle of a stream. Right, so I'm just going to put some contact cleaner on here and just give it a wipe. And then we'll stick some grease in there. Now this doesn't have to be greased up, like slippery. So what happens now is, if I can show you, what's a good angle? This goes in here where the holes are. If I can line this up. I have to be able to push this down though, so I may have to do it from the other side with an Allen key, so I'm going to try that. No, it's slightly off where it needs to be. So that's where it needs to be, but it needs to come down. I need to push it down so I can get this in. There we go. And it has to come out the other side. Okay, perfect. So now what we have is this seated. What's a good angle? What's a good angle? You need to be shown this. See, it's seated in there nice and smoothly. And now I'll probably scratch my desk to oblivion, but I really don't care about that. So now we have another Allen key that we need, which I think might be this one. Oh, they're all in the way, the other ones. And that will tighten up. Is it this one? This might be a bit big actually, might be the next one down. Yep. Can't be. It can't be, because I don't have the next one down. Unless I put it down somewhere. I do have it somewhere else though. I do have another set of these up here. So, but I did get this apart, so you would think that it would be this one. I don't recall. I didn't use my other Allen keys to undo this. Oh no, that is way too big. Well, let's try this one. You never know. You never know. Is it turning it? It is, but I don't know how tight it's going to make it. No, it's not right. All right, give me a second, guys, and I will be back. All right, so I used another set of Allen keys and I tightened this little screw up. That one, which keeps that bar in. Right, so that is everything. Let's turn the pedals up. Now, how good is this brake pedal? I can feel grease all over here. Yeah. Give that another clean down later. I think we're clean there. All right. Oh my God, look at that. Nothing. Oh, oh God, I can barely push that in. Eesh. Right, I can officially say that that has cured my brake pedal travel problem. I cannot push that now. With my foot, it'll be different, but again, you don't get a lot of brake travel. Look, I'm sure I can press it further down with my foot, but if this is too hard, I'll probably switch to the two reds, which will give me the softest one. But I thought I'd go for medium because, for the simple reason is that I will have a spare set. But that sorted that out. Has it fixed everything? Well, let's hook it up and find out. Alright, here we are at the game controller screen. It's a little bit stretched, but it'll do. Now, as you can see, I've got my Thrustmaster joystick plugged in, the Xbox controller and the Porsche wheel. This is the normal events, normal way of things. So, two things. Do the pedals all go to their extents? I expect they will initially because it's just been plugged in. The question is going to remain. We won't know until we get into game, but the question will remain, will the throttle pedal stay at 100%? Because if it doesn't, I'm either going to have to swap the potentiometers over if I can, or order a new one. Now, I do have a box with some potentiometers in, and I think they're good, but I'm not sure. And I don't know if they're for clutch or for throttle. So we'll have to take it as it comes. So let's go into the Porsche wheel. And I will just pop that up on the screen for you, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it, lad. Alright, and I will... So as you can see, we've got everything set there. Let's pop into settings. So 900-degree wheel angle, no dampening, strength. And the wheel operating as normal. Okay, so throttle pedal. So far so good. Clutch. The initial one is always to the max, and then because it needs to know where the range is. Let me just get my feet sorted out. Okay, so the moment. Right. Okay. Clutch. All good. Brake. Ooh, look at that straight away. Ooh, I barely have to touch it. Now, this is where that knob in the middle comes into effect, because it's like it's how much sensitivity you want on it. So, can I push it all the way down? Oh my god, no. No way. No way can I push that to the max. Yeah, the only way I get that to the max, guys, is by being in a gaming rig. Because if I push that down any harder than there, then I'm going to... my chair's going to go back because it's on wheels. So in the games, I'm going to have to recalibrate the brake. So I'll just go into the calibration screens, and then just that'll be my full braking extent. But as you can see, it's actually no. If I turn the okay, let me have a fiddle with the old knobbly knob. I'm going to put the knob to the max. Right. So honestly, the moment you touch the brake pedal, now let's see where I can press to. Oh yeah, that was easy. Okay, so we're fine, we're fine. It's just a case of twiddling that knob. I'm going to move it back about a quarter turn. It's just refining it now so that when I press, I can determine where full brake... oh, that brake pedal feels so damn good. I'm going to write to this guy. I'm going to contact him again on eBay and just tell him that it sorted my problem. But not only that, he's got a great product here. Okay, now that I can get to brake, that is full brake power. The progression is very smooth. But I don't think I want to be pressing any harder than that to get full lock. So I'm going to keep it there. If I turn the dial down a little bit more, then I'll have to press a lot harder to get full power. That's brilliant. And the feel on the pedal is, oh, it's like my real car. The only question is the throttle. Obviously, while it's a brand new, it's a brand new reset, you know, switching the wheel on and off, it's going to stay at 100%. But during the game is when it doesn't. Guys, that is a fix. I don't know whether you guys with Club Sport version 1 or 2 pedals have the same problem with me but just in case there's somebody out there with the same issue, I will leave a link to the eBay item that I bought. Guys, this is perfect. The pedal hasn't felt this good in a long time. Fully recommended. Yes, sir. That's it from me. Next thing, we'll test it in game and see how she goes.